Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and today, well, a brilliantly named puzzle. It's Velix by Felix. I think Felix is a new constructor who has sent us this puzzle as kind of their first work, but they think it's good enough, and here it is on the channel. So congratulations to Felix, or maybe Felix. I'm looking forward to having a go at a Thermo and XV puzzle, which is fairly neatly paired up rule set, I think. So that's got to be good. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Oh no, there's also a crop key dot. I hadn't noticed that, but there is one. Right, we'll look at that in a moment. Don't forget, loads going on at the moment. So on Patreon, we've already got Simon Solves J. Dyer's Crux. We've got the Solver in Sudoku Land by Demono story hunt open till the 20th to enter, and we're getting loads of correct entries. Very well done. Thank you for filling in the Google Forms. Doesn't matter whether you use the inverted commas. Excellent. In fact, it's very easy to read all the answers, which is great. Thank you to those who recommended that way of us doing the answers, because it keeps our email a bit cleaner as well, which is good news. And that's just at the moment. Tomorrow, I'm going to be putting up my Solve of the Times Monthly Club special. Very hard cryptic. Oh, there's just loads going on. We've got all the answers to last month's Halloween hunt were revealed as well on Patreon. So there's always tons going on Patreon. But on Tuesday next week, if you're not a patron, or if you are, we'll be streaming. We're going to go to the Chance of Senar game, return to our streaming ways, see how that goes, and you can see how amateurish the two of us can be at streaming a video game. And also on Tuesday, we will be releasing, hopefully less amateurishly, a new Kickstarter, which is a Fog of War story and puzzle hunt. We think you're going to love it. And that is going to be, well, assuming that we get funded, we're going to do it. I don't think the story's actually been written yet. So, brilliant. Anyway, that'll be coming out on Tuesday as well. What else we got going on? We've got all our apps, including a Thermo app and a Domino app, which were relevant to today's puzzle. And Sven Sudoku Pad and our merchandise. So loads going on as always. But the first link under the video in the description field, which has all the links to all the things I've been talking about, is this one, Velix or Velix by Felix or Felix. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we'll be putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. That is normal. Cells joined by an X sum to 10. Cells joined by a V sum to 5. Numbers on a thermometer increase as they move away from the bulb, and digits joined by a black dot, and there's only one pair of those, have a ratio of 1 to 2, so one is half the other. That's all we get in this puzzle. Give it a try. And I am going to reset my clock and start now and say, let's get cracking. So, we could colour the V cells, or we could pencil mark the thermos. I'm going to colour the V cells. Right, cells on a V can only be from 1, 2, 3 or 4, because they're the numbers below 5. So let's colour those, let's do bright blue. And that's given us 4 blue cells in row 7. Now that's useful because there are only 4 digits from 1, 2, 3 and 4, obviously. So once we know where all 4 of them are in the row, everything else is higher. So my current plan is to colour this grid as far as I can, or as far as is necessary, in blue or orange, where blue is the digits 1 to 4 and orange is the digits 5 to 9. Now often, and especially in German whispers puzzles, we will colour orange for the digits 6, 7, 8 and 9. But this time I'm including 5, until it proves pointless to do it that way. Anyway, blue on an X means the other side has to be orange, because in a pair that adds up to 10 you get 1 low digit and 1 high digit. Oh, and that does also mean that none of these can be 5. 5 can't appear in a blue cell on a V. 5 can't appear on a V or an X. And that, I think, oh no, I was nearly fooling myself. I was about to paint in an X-wing of 5s there, but I was forgetting immediately, having just explained it, that orange can be 5 in this puzzle. So back off, Mark. Once these are orange, everything else on the thermo that's higher than an orange cell is also orange. So they go orange. They're on an X, so they're blue. This must be one of each, and that's going to be 4 blues and 4 oranges. So the last one in the column is orange. The same is true over this side. So we're getting quite a few cells filled. Now, this is going to involve a blue in one of each of these. Right, and that's huge both for boxes 7, which will complete its 4 blues, box 9, which will complete its 4 blues, and row 9, which will complete its 4 blues. So although we don't know which of these cells is blue and which is orange, we know it's one of each in each of those highlighted dominoes, and therefore we can colour all of these orange. So I think it was a good policy to have orange be 5 to 9 in the puzzle. And look, we've got quite a long way in terms of disambiguating things without actually putting any numbers in the grid or even thinking about them yet. And because I'm running out of other stuff to do, it probably is time. No, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make that cell orange because these can't all be blue, and then the highest one must be orange if one of them at least is orange. Right, now I am going to think about numbers, and what I'm going to think about is the fact that these have to be 4 different digits. Now, I know that because I know that there are 2 pairs that can make up a V. It's either 1, 4 or 2, 3. These 2 V's are ordered by the thermos, so the lower digit goes below and the higher digit goes above. And because they're in the same rows, it obviously can't be the same digit in each case. So that is a 1-2 pair. Now, that means that the X's in these rows don't have 1 or 2 on, and that means they don't have 8 or 9 on. They must be selected from 3, 4, 6 and 7. One of them is a 3, 7X, the other is a 4, 6X. And that is going to use up the 3 4s in both of these boxes, because we've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here and 1 here. That's the 4 3 4s for boxes 7 and 9. And these cells must be 1s or 2s. The cells they are touching on V's must be 3s or 4s. The cells they are touching on X's must be 8s or 9s. And doing a little bit of thinking about numbers has suddenly proved quite valuable. Right, let's Goodliffe the remaining parts of these 5-cell thermos. We're up to at least 5 by this cell. So we'll call those 5, 6 or 7. These ones 6, 7 or 8. And these ones, oh, I thought it was going to highlight the 2. 7, 8 or 9. 7, 8 or 9 on the X is going to be with 1, 2 or 3. Then I'm a bit bogged down. 1 and 2 have to be in those cells. Don't know what to do with those or these. Only one of these can be a 5. Right, the 5, oh look, this is a 5, 8, 9 triple. I hadn't actually observed that. Oh, that's very interesting. Right, where does this digit go in box 9? Definitely there, because it can't be in those cells according to the pencil marking, and Sudoku rules it out of those 2. This one in box 7 goes there. So these, well, they're given the pairs we've got going on and the lack of the colours of those cells, they have to be from 5, 6 or 7. Now, what has suddenly interested me a little about those, and this matters, is that one of them is a 5. How do I know that? Why aren't there 6, 7 pair? Because there's various reasons, but I'm going to start with the fact that one of these is a 5. None of these can be a 5 because that's a 5, 8, 9 triple in the box. So none of those is a 5. So where are the 5s in rows 7 and 8? Well, one of them is there and one of them is here. So I'm going to put a corner mark 5 in those. The corner marks representing us limiting within a box where a particular digit can be, and that's what we're doing here. Now, I'm also, yeah, this is good. Okay, the X-wing I was planning to put in there on 5s absolutely doesn't work because these actually can't be 5 at all. But it actually now works with these cells. There is an X-wing on 5s there. An X-wing is where 5 is confined to 2 rows within a column in this instance, and the same 2 rows in another column. So in both of those columns, 5 must be in one of those 2 places. And therefore, we're either getting a pair of 5s like that in the puzzle or a pair of 5s like that. And in either case, that's used up the 2 5s for rows 1 and 7, and none of these cells can be a 5. Now, I'm also interested in where 5 can be in row 2, because I said earlier it can't be on an X, so it's not in any of those cells. What I didn't tell you yet is that it can't be on a black dot either, because there is no that is either half or double that can go in a Sudoku. So one of these 2 is 5 in the row, and that's an X-wing with these 5s. And that means there is a 5 in one of these 3 cells. Again, these corner marks are relevant. They are where 5 is confined to within rows 1 and 2, and therefore within boxes 1 and 3. And I thought the upshot of this was going to be, yes, it is. 5s can't be here because of this X-wing that we've found. So one of these 2 is a 5, one of these 2 is a 5. That's yet another X-wing on 5s. And the final 5 in box 5, of all things, has to be in one of those cells. I was really hoping we were going to narrow it down or build up a picture of a thermo. Well, yeah, no, we're not really getting very far with that one. But that was an interesting exercise. Now, what next? This is 5. No, it's 6 or 7. It can't be 5 because there's a 5, 8, 9 triple there. These include 1 and 2, and then one of 5, 6, or 7. I don't know what's next. Let's have a little think. So, one of these is a 5. One of these 2. But in the other case, it is not a 5. I mean, sorry, it's hardly a knowledge bomb. I know it's very fatuously obvious. I'm just thinking that it probably matters in that it forces one of these not to be 6 if it hasn't got a 5 below it, but is 7 or 8. And then at least one of these is 8 or 9. And in that case, we definitely have 1 or 2 in the X here. Oh, hang on. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Oh, Felix, this is clever. Look at those 2 cells. Both of them we've marked as 3 or 4, but we know more than that. We know something much more significant. We know that they're different. We know that they're different because they're on V's from these 2 cells. And we know those are different. And because of the way that the V's pair up, 1 with 4 and 2 with 3, if those 2 are different, these 2 are different. And that means a 3-4 pair sees this cell, and that can't be 3. So that's the way we find out what's going on here. The same is true here. That's a different 1-2 pair. That's a different 3-4 pair. This cell cannot be 3. So now we've got a 1-2 pair there. These are definitely an 8-9 pair based on the X's. That doesn't narrow down the thermos, but it's got us this 1-2 pair. Now, that means that the X's up here don't use 1 or 2 in their columns. So they are either 3 or 4, which go with 6 or 7. And that means that in neither case here is this a 6-7 pair, because we need one of 6 or 7 up there. I don't know what that means. Well, it means one of those must be an 8. Because otherwise, they would be a 7-6 pair. This would have to be a 5-6 pair, and in one case we'd end up with a 6-7 here, but I don't know if that, I don't really, well, I mean, it sort of gives me an 8 X-wing between those cells. Yeah, okay. And that puts an 8 onto this thermo. And that means this cell is 8 or 9. Once there's an 8 on this thermo, it could be there, but then this will be a 9. And alternatively, 8 is here, and it is an 8 here. What's going on in row 2? There's something going on in row 2 now. Ah. This digit is different from that one. So it's the same as the low digit here. Is that's not worth anything? I was wondering if it ruled out... I don't think it does. Okay, come on. We're going well. We just need to keep doing some good thinking now. One of these is a 5. Oh, 9s. 9s in these columns are they are another X-wing. There are only 2 places for 9s. I think this has to be a 5-9 pair, weirdly now. Yeah, there are only 2 places for 9s, so they do form an X-wing in those cells, just as 5s formed an X-wing in those cells. And the upshot of that is one of these will be taking part in a 5 X-wing and the other in a 9 X-wing. And you've got an 8 X-wing here. I have a feeling I ought to be able to narrow these down a bit based on what I've done, but that might be wrong. One of them is an 8. I don't know, maybe the other is a 6, but I'm not actually sure how that works as an idea, if it's right. I didn't really get anywhere with this thermo. I suppose the first cell on it can't be 1 or 2. Oh, all right, I'll put in the candidates. I don't think it really helps. I can't colour them. Let's go back to row 2. This is the set of 3, 4, 6, and 7. I'm wondering if there's some way that keeps 3, 4, 6, and 7 off these. Oh, of course it does. Right. These 2 cells, one of them is from 3, 7 as a pair here, and the other is from 6, 4. Yes, that does it. That means that you can't have a 3, 7 or a 4, 6 pair here because they would clash with one of these. It's one of these brilliant puzzles where it's still totally ambiguous, totally binary which way it works. But as far as we've got, this is really important and does disambiguate things. You can't put 3, 4, 6 or 7 on those cells. You can't put specifically a 3, 7 pair on either of them or a 4, 6 pair on either of them, because without knowing which, they would break one of these cells. So this is a 1, 2, 8, 9 quad. What can you put on the black dot? You can't put 9 on it. Oh, and you can't put 1 on it because we've got a 1, 2, 8, 9 quadruple there. If you put 1 there, you'd need to put 2 here, but 2 needs to be in one of these cells. So now we've got ourselves a 2, 8x there. So that's a 1, 9x. Look, this is going to be a 4, weirdly, to be sitting next to 2 or 8. I don't know, it doesn't disambiguate them, but it makes that a 4. So that's not a 4. And also these aren't 4s now. So these aren't 6s on the X. One of these is a 6, the other is from 3 or 7. So these cells are from 3, 5 or 7, and one of them is definitely a 5. Now this 2, 8 is looking down at this X, yes, and now we got a 4 in the grid as our first digit after about 15 minutes. We're now going to get some more, because if that is saying that this can't be a 2, 8 pair because they couldn't all live in the grid together, then this is a 1, 9 pair, and that is going to give us digits. We get 4 there, 4, 3, 2, 3. We've got X's, that's an 8, that's 9, that's 8. This is 2, that's on a V, this is 4, that's 1. We can go up here and get these X's, 2, 8, 1, 9. Oh, this is loads, right, that's not an 8, this isn't a 7 by thermo rules. Now, these don't have a 4 in, that's a 3, 7 pair. This is a 4, oops, this side is a 4, 6 pair. These don't have 6s in, that's a 5, 7 pair. That hasn't settled this hash. 4 is looking down at that. Oh, sorry, my arrowing went badly wrong. 3 is looking down at a 7 on the other side. Now, 4 can't be in this pair. That means 3 can't be in this pair. In fact, this is 6, 4. We know the order. That's an interesting break in symmetry. We don't know the order this side, but we do this side. That can't be 6 anymore, but in fact it seems to have to be 8. Yes, 9 has gone and got 5 in the corner. 5 has made this a 7, and that leaves that to be 8. Now we must be able to do this on the other side of the grid. The 3, 7 pair tells us 6, 5, 6, and look at that. One breakthrough from that 2, 8 pair, and we've populated, I'm going to call that 34 numbers in the grid that we've filled in, and I'm within one way or the other. That is now a 5, 9 pair by the markings we did earlier and Sudoku. So this becomes a 1, that's a 9, here we go, we've got more digits coming now. 4 and a 6 to go in this column, we know the order. Oh, that's a 3, 7 pair. This is a 5. I could have done that a while ago. 2, 8 pair still to go in the box. This is a 1, 4, 7 triple. We're going to use the horizontal thermos in a minute, I reckon. What about this pair? 1, 9, 8, 4. Oh, it's not quite so clear cut, but whatever that is has to go in one of these cells. So it's 5 and another odd number. And that means 2 and 8 must both be in these cells. This one clearly can't be an 8. Doesn't quite resolve it. Now, this hasn't changed. This has changed a bit. We can't put a 4 or a 6 on this. So let's do some pencil marking here. We can't start with a 1. So we're going to start with 2 or 3. I'm going to add 7 into the mix just because I can't rule it out. This one is now 3, 5, avoid the evens until we get to 8. And this one is 5, 6, 7. Ah, this can't be 9. So I can take 8 out of there and 7 out of here. That wasn't, oh, that can't be 6. I was meant to be avoiding the evens. Right, so 2 or 3 in this cell feels possibly significant, but I'm missing a trick. 5 had to go in one of these cells, didn't it? Oh, that can't be 3 anymore. No, not helpful. Well, except in as much as 3 can't be in any of those cells, so one of these 2 is a 3, and that one isn't a 3, therefore. We've got to put 2 and 6. 2 in one of those, 6 in one of those. Let's look at this row maybe. It's tricky. Maybe we've reached another slow point in the puzzle. Or maybe I'm just being a bit slow myself. 9, 9, that is a 9. 4, 6, 5, 9. We need a 1 in this box. That's got to go there. We need a 1 in box 2. That has to go there now. 6, 1, 9, 4. 8, 5, 4. That is just 2 or 7 by Sudoku. There must be something a bit more clear. Sorry, I'm not seeing it yet. Let's look at this box again. That was where the action was happening. Whatever that is in one of those two. Forming a triple with those. No, that's not a 9. Gosh, oh look, 9 is looking at that cell. Oh, it's just ordinary Sudoku and I can't see it. I know you're telling me to tidy up my pencil marks, but if I don't spot what I meant to tidy up, unfortunately that just doesn't happen. I really was trying to tidy them up. Just didn't get it right. 5 in this box is there. This is now a 3, 6 pair. That's a 7. That sorts out the 3, 7 pair that kind of got us started. These can't have a 7 in anymore. We've got 2, 3 and 8 to place in that column. Right, now 6, 3, 4, 2, 8. 5, 9 is in one of those two cells. 9, 4, 1. I think we've used all the markings in the grid apart from the thermos. That ambiguous black dot is frankly beginning to irritate me a little at this point. We need a 2 in one of those cells. We need 5 and 9 in these. We decided 9 was in one of those, so this becomes an 8. That's quite powerful. That fixes the X. This now can't be an 8. That can't be a 7. Anything else there resolved by the magic of Sudoku? I don't see it. We've also said they're 5. 5 can't be on those. So that's a 4, 6, 7 triple, and that's a 3. It was all resolved by the Sudoku that you had already seen, and I just wasn't picking up on. Now there is definitely a 6 in one of those cells. 7, 6, 9, 8, 5. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4, and lots of those are ruled out. So that can't be 1 or 3. This can't be 4, and that can't be 2 or 4. Is this really going to clear up? It seems a bit odd that it is going to finish from here. There just doesn't quite seem to be enough information. 9, 4, 2, 1. We're going to need 7 and 6 up here. Oh, look, there's a 6, 7 pair. That is going to give us quite a bit of information because the 6, 7 up here now go in those cells. This is 3 or 8. 8 must be in one of those two. So that rules 8 out of the bottom cell there. Now let's keep looking up this column, which is giving us more information than we are entitled to. We've got 4. We've got a 6, 7 pair. No, going to have to switch attention. That can't be 8, so actually 8 is placed in this row. 8, 3, 9, 1, 2, 4, 6. This is 5 or 7 by Sudoku. This seems to be a chocolate teapot quintuplet. Oh, that has become a 6 a long time ago. And that makes that a 7. That is going to sort out row 4. There we go. So it was just Sudoku. 1, 7. Thanks to the pencil marking, I can make this a 5. Pardon me, coughing fit coming up. And back from the coughing fit. That's 3, that's 2, that's 4, 1 and 9 here. That's a 7, that's a 6. This is 2, 1, 7, 1, 9, 5, 9, 8 and 3. We get a 5 on the thermo. That 3 has fixed the 2, 3 pair. We can get 2 there and 8 to finish here. And that is a lovely exercise. That's a really good puzzle. Thank you very much, Felix, for sending that. It works beautifully. And yeah, I hope a lot of our solvers enjoyed that tonight, because that's really good. Thank you very much for watching us on the channel as always. We hope to see you again tomorrow for more entertaining Sudoku. Bye for now.